Welcome everyone to another episode of Price Targets with your host Bitcoin Jack. It's been a while. Welcome back everyone. It's Wednesday. We're gonna be having these videos regularly again. I've rested up quite nicely, having taken off almost a week and a half now, and I hope everyone's okay. First, I want to be sharing with you that I've changed my sponsors. Ecos is gone, unfortunately, but we decided to part our ways, and I'm happy to announce that Prime XBT, the crypto exchange, is now my new sponsor, and we've been, going back and forth to get a partnership for quite some time now, and eventually we found common grounds to do this. So they have some goodies for you. You can register using the link in the watermark and in the description below, and you will get a 50% deposit bonus up to 0.5 Bitcoin. So half a Bitcoin is what you can get if you use the promo code Bitcoin Jack, and it's in the description. So please copy paste that to get a half a Bitcoin deposit bonus, and you won't be able to withdraw that Bitcoin, but you will be able to trade with it, and if you make any profit on that 0.5 Bitcoin, you get to keep it. So the minute you start withdrawing funds from Prime XBT, you will lose your bonus but keep whatever you made on your trades. So I think that's if you know what you're doing and you're up for it, that's a pretty nice gesture. Up to 0.5, you get 50% bonus. So thank you, Prime, and I'm really looking forward to be working together and get you guys maybe even more bonuses and deals along the way. So that said, let's have a look at Bitcoin. I want to dive into a little bit of a review on what happened and whether I think that the market is going to be in a prime position to see continuation. I think there's a possibility. There's a few things that I want to see. We'll go over that. But first, I want to kind of recap why I decided to initially go short, as I shared on Twitter in hindsight right here, and eventually decided to get back in right there. For that, we need to get to a little bit of a cluttered chart. But essentially, maybe I want to start with this chart. So one of the possibilities for Bitcoin, as it's, if it remains in a bull market, is that this was an impulsive wave, impulsive move. This was a corrective structure right here, and then we had this rally, and this is a corrective structure and a continuation pattern, possibly, that we call a running flat, which is basically you have an impulse and then you have a pullback, A, B, C, and then a little rally with low volume, not a lot of juice, that goes above the initial high, and then you have a 5-wave structure, which is your wave C, which travels usually approximately the same length as the initial sell-off right there, which then turns around and make new highs and see a bigger rally. So if that's the case right here, this is the first leg of that entire rally. This is the consolidation structure after, and then we will have wave 3. So this is wave 2 then in that scenario, and then wave 3, which should be the mode of the move that's going to come. That then is coming afterwards. So we don't really have confirmation yet that that's what's going to happen, although there is some hopium in that scenario. And for that scenario to kind of work out, we will have to at least get past 55, 56, which is a rather important level on chain 2. I'll try and see if I can share that with you. Yes. So This is all the UTXOs on chain, so basically all the transactions that have taken place, and here at the bottom you can see the price clusters at which they happened, and then the bars here are the amount of Bitcoins involved in those UTXOs, so the transactions basically. And what you can see right here is that there has been a giant amount of volume traded. Basically here on the left, that's kind of, you know, the genesis between 0 and $600. And then this entire structure here is the bear market of 2018, 2019, and anything leading up to that, between, you know, $3,000 and $20,000 around here. And then you can see there's a lot of gaps here, not a lot of volume being traded. And then suddenly, as we started to pass 45k, it started to ramp up again, and then we have a giant cluster over here. Basically, the way I review this would be actually to turn around this chart, flip it 90 degrees, and then there's a price chart right there. So basically, this right now is a resistance. If we get, you know, if that's the direction of price, if we can get back above it, we could probably see a retest and then price move into new all-time high territory, possibly. I'm going to move this chart away again. Then I want to go back to this chart, the clutter chart. Essentially, what I was showing here, if this structure is a C wave in a running flat, then this needs to have kind of like this needs to be a 5 wave, right? And so we could argue that somewhere around here is wave 1, and this is like a wave 2, basically a running flat, but the other direction. Bam, 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 and then that's wave 2. So wave 1, wave 2, and then wave 3 up here, and then we got this triangle. And generally, when triangles happen in a 4th wave position, so basically wave 1, some structure, wave 3, and then a symmetrical triangle, usually what you will see is that the next move is your final kind of move. So this move, as we break down from the triangle, kind of indicated that this was not going to travel much further as it found support, and then maybe potentially actually also turn around the trend, which is still, you know, uncertain, but there's a good likelihood. And then after, you know, this wave happened, we had a triangle here too. So that kind of made me feel that if we were to sweep the low here, reclaim it, recover from it, that would be a pretty nicely defined risk to reward, risk defined trade, where your stop is going to be below the wick here. You enter as we reclaim. I think my entry was around 48.6, so around here. And then what you had to hope is that it would kind of travel through the previous triangle, break out from it, gets past some trend lines, and then hopefully that's the end of the C wave. The other possibility, obviously, is that price, you know, has made its first impulse move down, and this is going to be a corrective move, and then it's going to start coming down again and make newer lows, so at least go to the 45 region. I'm really thinking that this scenario will play out, and in that case we may see some rejection at current price levels around 55, 56, and go retest the range bottom right here. If we grab this chart, we could essentially define a range, in hindsight obviously, but which gives this idea a little bit more support, where this is a deviation at the range high, the $61,250 level that we've been using for quite some time. And then as price came down to the range low here, initially I thought this on itself was a deviation, but obviously charts can do whatever they want and price can do whatever they want. And it lost the level here, but reclaimed it. So basically, one could argue that this now is a deviation on the other side and that the range is balanced. And then we're back at the middle of the range here. And if we can go past it, there's a decent possibility that we at least go test $61,250. And must we be able to, after some ranging, get past that, I think that we will still continue the bull run into the next range level, which has been the same for quite some time, which is at around 90K. If we do get rejected here, then, you know, it's going to be troublesome, and I think that price is at least going to visit the bottom here, but very likely may even come down and dump into the previous all-time high here from early Jan and test the level where we had the Elon pump in Feb. So ideally what we see is a little bit of ranging here and in the next few days, and then have a pretty sizey candle upwards within 1 or 2 days into resistance. That's probably the, you know, the most convincing price action if you want to be a bull. Personally, I'm shaving some off here at resistance, and I'm going to be waiting until we actually get that price action. And I think that once we are able to get above 61,250 to 62,000, that there's a decent opportunity to get long again. And personally, I'd probably be aggressive about it as we break the middle of the range here. And quite honestly, there's probably you know, an opportunity to get long as we retest the range low, which is the previous 50K-ish level. So if we must get there, I think that's where I'm going to be adding some additional risk and size to my positions. And then obviously there is this monster ETH. It's been performing really well. I had a few plays on Twitter that worked out really nicely, where we had this breakout and this breakout into here, and obviously here. I think I posted a setup to, as we break out of the all-time high, that it would be a really great idea to get long on a retest. And then I chickened out of that ID because Bitcoin dumped and I was not really sure where that was going to end up at. And so I kind of protected my capital at that point. In hindsight, that was not the move to make, because Bitcoin has rebounded quite nicely so far, and ETH has just been churning higher. So I'm not in a position, and I never really like to do analysis on assets that I don't own a position in, because it just makes it quite different. It makes it easier for me just to say something and then, you know, not care as much, because I'm not in it. But it does look like we're kind of breaking out into the grey box between 0.054 and 0.058ish to maybe possibly upwards to 0.06 before we're going to get like a larger correction. And depending on how bullish everything becomes, I think this is going to become a bit of a range. And then I could see the next leg of that go into orange, which is around 0.07. So there's quite some juice to be gained on ETH BTC, especially if Bitcoin is going to be performing well. So that's going to be interesting to see how that works out. Honestly, personally, if price does want to, you know, come back down here, I'll probably long it and ride it into the grey box. I think invalidation is going to happen once price comes down here and gets rejected by the level around 0.043. That would be really ugly, and it's probably going to come down and retest the red level here before any continuation upwards. But it looks good, and it seems that there's a lot of talk and attention going on around ETH, a lot of bullishness. So there's going to be some momentum. I don't know if it's just going to pump straight into all-time highs on a BTC pair in the next couple of months. I doubt that's going to be the case. But it's never bad to, be with the herd for a little while before getting out and taking profit. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen with ETH. And then Litecoin, it's if you remember the old charts, reached into the level here, back tested the level here, and I think this now is ready to pump back up here. If we get back into the green box once more, that's where I want to get a position in, and into these levels up here, and probably think it's going to range for a little bit, but eventually this should be, if we keep on ranging here, I think this is eventually going to break out. And if it's going to break out, there's a bit of a rally into the zone here, right there. So that's between 0.066 and 0.0066 and 0.007ish. So that would be something. So I'm looking to get more exposure into Litecoin as well. I think that's it. Once again, thank you for sponsoring Prime XBT. And guys, if you enjoy this content, please leave a like, subscribe, and check out Prime XBT. Sign up and see for yourself if you like it. I think that's it. Until Sunday, and I hope this was educational, informative, and thank you for watching. Peace.